Now you have the interactive charts as well. If you click over here, it will tell you that you have the XGBoosting package and GRWrapR package. Let's try to execute this. Okay, so it says that you need to install this package. Let's try to install this. There could be a problem, but let's see if we can do it. So what I can see is in the background there is an error. It's not able to do it. So we'll try again. If it doesn't work, then we'll use the other option. So it's giving a DLL error. One more try. Same error. I don't think so this will go ahead. So let's do one thing. Let's try to explore the XGRWrapR part. Okay, so I'll click on the other option. Press execute. Again, this package is required. Say yes. Let's see if this gets installed properly. Okay, so it's working. There's no DLL error for this one. There could be some dependencies on XGBoosting also, so we might not be able to see everything, but let's give it a try. Again, I'm just grossly going over these things. You can do the R&D in detail. So it opens up in a different port in a local host. So maybe the first time when it is getting loaded, it will give us an error, or it won't properly load. We'll try a refresh or something like that. If it still doesn't work, then we'll close it and restart it again. Only the graph portion. So my data is not getting populated over here and the plots are not coming up. So everything is empty. The code is also not there. That's a plot log actually. Try to do a reset input. Okay, let me close this. Okay, and let's run it again. Okay, execute. Okay, now there's change. It's coming up. Okay, so I can see the plot. Quite interesting. This is the Boston dataset. You can add more datasets also, provided it is there over there. Enable reactivity. That means if you change the data, it reactively changes the visualization. These are the points, the data points. So we can see ZN versus MEDV, I assume. No, ZN versus crime. You can change this. So I can take on the x-axis. We can take maybe MEDV. Okay. The chart changes drastically. On the y, we can take some other variable. Let's say we take LSTAT. That has a high correlation. Wow, good. So that makes sense. So we have a scatter plot. We can change the type of the chart also. So there are different charts available. You can change that as well. So treat color as a factor. MEDV is not making sense because you already have it on the dimension. Some lag effect. Okay, so let's wait for some time and see rather than quickly jumping. Okay, there it comes. Although it doesn't make sense functionally, but yes, we are seeing this chart wherein we have treated MEDV as a factor variable. You can select size also as one of the parameters. I'm removing this aspect as the factor. Okay, I'm changing size and I select any other variable as the size aspect. So say age, yeah, let's select age variable as a size. So you can see that age 25, 50, 75, 100 over here is shown as the auto selected bubble size, right? So the bubble size indicates the age parameter, so that you are now looking at 3 dimensions of the data. MEDV color range, dark indicates low and light indicates higher order value of MEDV. You can change the color and select some other variable, say NOx, that is the pollution effect. Okay, so that also makes sense. So now you're looking at 4 dimensions on the chart. 2 are indicated by LSTAT and MEDV on the dimensions itself, and the other 2 are indicated by the color and the size of the bubbles. You can change the opacity of this chart depending upon your choice. Go down and you do have more options, like you can select the facet. So it will block it into 2 different charts depending. So if you remember, we were trying to do this over there, but it was not allowing us. Here it is able to manage it, right? So even if CHAS is a numerical variable, this package is able to do that, right? So I'm seeing for 0 class of CHAS and 1 class of CHAS, I'm bifurcating the chart into 2 panels. So say if you would have had gender, male, female mentioned in 0 and 1, you could have seen the trend in the 2 different levels also. Can select scaling if you want, but not required in this case. Scaling is typically used when you want to do something like ANN models, right? So in this case, it's just about visualization. Yes, sometimes it makes sense. So you can have your options selected and do a little bit of R&D over here, because I've just selected one type of chart, that is the scatter chart. More than that, there are other charts as well. You can have the theme, you can mention the plot title, the X label and the Y label. This is your choice. You can select the label, font family, size, color, the adjustments, height, how much above the actual data point and all those things. So I'm selecting the plot theme economist. So this theme actually is not supporting the data which and the parameters we have selected. We can try to do a little bit of R&D and change these so that it starts showing up. Now if it is not showing up after doing a lot of changes also on the parameters, rather than losing the parameter setup, we can change the theme itself to see if it is coming up, right? Still not showing up. Even if I make this as none, still it's not showing up. So let me keep the facet as it is. So it doesn't seem to be a problem with these parameters. So not all the themes will be supporting the charts. So maybe some of the themes would be for line charts, some of them would be for box plots, right? I'm just doing a little bit of R&D over here to see what is not allowed. So I guess I'll have to change the theme itself. So I'm just taking high charts. Okay, so with high charts it's coming. So now I'll just select CHAS as the windowing element. Take Google Docs. So various themes present which will change the layout of the chart. This is the other one. See, when you are in a menu driven element, you need to try everything and see what works, what supports what type of data. So you can even have the aggregations like maybe sum, minimum, maximum and mean values. So you can observe that on the left hand side on the axis, the LSTAT has become LSTAT underscore mean, because we have selected the aggregation method as mean. Now this might not make logical sense over here with respect to the data and what you are trying to picturize, right? So just because something is available in a GUI doesn't make sense from an application perspective, but yes, the tool does give you the option of selecting and making changes at a very fast pace. So it's quite fast prototyping. So maybe in an environment wherein you are short of time, this would help you to analyze the data very quickly rather than looking at the code errors and all those things. Could be used as the first step before you go into analytics. Let me just remove this. So I don't want that aggregation, and this LSTAT is small letters which has default depending upon the name as it is in the data set. So what we can do is we can just put it as sum and see LSTAT underscore sum, right? So it's aggregating, but it's not making sense to us logically. Just make it none again. Put a good title. So you can see that change over here. In fact, in the code also you will see these codes being generated, right? So obviously it's a good way to extract the code from here and use it in your base R codes as well. This is the data. That's the plot. So I've just closed that, so you can explore this